I can't think of a better, uh, resolution to the lawsuit. I really dreaded it. I really was afraid of what was going to happen with our sport going forward.
NASCAR's antitrust lawsuit may have reached a settlement, but the ripple effects are still shaking the sport. One of the most respected voices in stock car racing, Mark Martin, has now spoken out, and he's not holding back. In fact, the Hall of Famer revealed unsettling truths about what was happening behind the scenes. And as the dust settles, Martin believes NASCAR did the right thing, but only just in time.
According to the New York Times, a deal has been reached between NASCAR and Michael Jordan's 2311 race team, along with Front Row, ending a year-long legal saga.
The lawsuit had been a cloud over the sport. For weeks, the tension built as 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports took on NASCAR, accusing it of monopolistic behavior. But on the 9th day of the trial, it ended. NASCAR reached a settlement that included some major concessions, permanent charters, better revenue sharing, and a bigger voice for teams in shaping the rules. For longtime fans and insiders, this was a landmark moment, and for Mark Martin, it was a relief. He'd been watching from the sidelines, hoping the dispute wouldn't spiral into something irreversible. Well, I think it was a win for everyone. It was a win for the fans. It was a win for NASCAR to get it behind them. And it was a win for the teams. I can't think of a better resolution to the lawsuit. I really dreaded it. I really was afraid of what was going to happen with our sport going forward, Martin said, summing up the tension many felt.
Well, I think it was a win for everyone. It was a win for the fans. It was a win for NASCAR to get it behind them. And it was a win for the teams. I can't think of a better, resolution to the lawsuit. I really dreaded it. I really was afraid of what was going to happen with our sport going forward.
Martin had previously taken to social media, warning that the lawsuit could damage NASCAR's reputation and future. At the time, he couldn't see a clear path forward. But now, with the matter resolved outside the courtroom, Martin says the agreement is the best way forward. With this chapter closed, the sport can now focus on the 2026 season. Martin believes this breathing room gives NASCAR the chance to revisit its most contentious issues, including the playoff format and horsepower rules for the next-gen car. It also means teams can get back to what they do best, competing, not just surviving. The financial and legal uncertainty had paralyzed teams. The new deal resets the field. Now, teams can once again focus on performance without the lawsuit hanging over their heads. But if you think this was a clean win, think again. Behind the scenes, the battles were intense, and Mark Martin was in the middle of it. His involvement in the playoff committee, formed after the 2024 season, gave him a direct role in one of the most important debates, whether to scrap NASCAR's controversial elimination-style championship format. In the beginning was the only one I was screaming about it, Martin said. I wasn't doing it for me. I was screaming about it because they asked me to be on it, and because everywhere I go and every fan I talk to hates the playoffs.
I was screaming, about it. And I wasn't doing it for me. I was screaming about it because they asked me to be on it, and because everywhere I go and every fan I talk to hates playoffs. I'm sorry.
Martin explained that he was asked to join the committee and decided to use his platform to represent the fans, many of whom have long criticized the playoff system. Fans often argue that a full season point system, like the one used before 2004, better rewards consistency and real performance. I'm a guy who has a bigger voice than those fans, and so I decided I owe my entire career to the race fans who supported me so much. So I stood up for the fans and went through the meetings. I can't believe it, but eventually a full season was on the table, Martin revealed.
Look, I'm a guy that has a bigger voice than those fans. And so I decided I owe my entire career to the race fans that supported me so much. So I stood up for the fans, and through the meetings, I can't believe it, but eventually a full season was on the table.
His advocacy helped push the full season model into serious discussion. Though he remains unsure whether NASCAR will actually go through with it, he's proud of how far the conversation has come. I am very impressed that it's on the table, that it's actually a consideration. Martin added, I don't know what we'll get. I hope that I'm not crushed. I hope it's something that's in the right direction.
And I don't think we'll get it still, but I am very impressed that it's on the table, that it's actually a consideration. I don't know what we'll get. I hope that I'm not crushed. And I hope it's something that that's in the right direction. Obviously, it will be in the right direction. We're not going to have a one race.
The reality is that any major change to the playoff system faces enormous challenges. NASCAR has invested heavily in marketing its current championship structure. Moving to a different format would mean re-educating fans, sponsors, and media partners. They're not just trying to move forward, they're listening to criticism, even when it comes from their own legends. Martin's input, based on decades of racing and fan interaction, carries weight. He knows what fans say in the stands and online, and he's using his seat at the table to speak for them. His message is clear. The sport's integrity matters. How you crown a champion matters, and ignoring fans' voices could be a costly mistake. For now, the most likely outcome seems to be a revised playoff format. NASCAR's willingness to negotiate and make concessions might inspire change beyond racing. For the teams, this is a new beginning. They can now hire with confidence, invest in technology, and focus on talent development without fearing a sudden collapse due to shaky governance. Discussions about race formats, midweek races, and even international expansion can now move forward. With more team input in these discussions, we could see bolder, more creative decisions that keep the racing product fresh. Martin's vision isn't just about the top-tier Cup Series, it's about the entire racing ecosystem. Importantly, drivers and teams may also find renewed motivation in the wake of this transition. With a more secure future, smaller operations and independent racers could benefit from reduced pressure and increased opportunities. There's also speculation that NASCAR could experiment with legacy tracks or bring back fan-favorite venues. This kind of nostalgic nod could further reconnect the sport with its longtime followers while boosting attendance and viewership. Mark Martin's words make one thing clear. This moment could be a turning point. The lawsuit could have fractured NASCAR. Instead, it forced a reckoning and opened the door for real change. Whether it's the playoff format, car regulations, or team governance, the post-settlement NASCAR looks different. And while Martin remains cautiously optimistic, he knows how rare these opportunities are. He's pushing the sport to make the most of it. Because for Mark Martin, this isn't about politics or power, it's about fans, it's about fairness, and it's about the future of a sport he gave everything to. Stay tuned. NASCAR's next chapter is just beginning, and Mark Martin just lit the spark.